witnessed a Mitsubishi Pajero speeding down the highway. Shortly after, they heard a screeching tires followed by a crash. Manarang reported the incident to the police and pursued the vehicle, which had fled the scene. He identified the vehicle with plate number PMA 777 and informed the police. When the police stopped the vehicle, they recognized the driver as Ruben C. Padilla. Upon exiting, Padilla revealed a gun tucked into his waistband. Police officer SPO2 Borja confiscated the firearm despite being confronted about the hit and run. Padilla denied involvement and showed a defiant attitude.
During the encounter, police also discovered a long magazine for an Armalite rifle in Padilla's back pocket and a baby Armalite rifle in the vehicle. When asked for a documentation, Padilla claimed that the paperwork was at home. Subsequently, he voluntarily surrendered a Puerto Beretta pistol and additional magazine to the police. Padilla admitted to possessing the firearms for shooting but could not provide any permits for them. This led his arrest for illegal possession of firearms.
Ruben Padilla was found in possession of the following firearms during his arrest on October 26, 1992. First is 357 caliber revolver Smith & Wesson SL 32919 with 6 live ammunition. This firearm was discovered tucked into Padilla's waistband when he was apprehended. Second is M16 Baby Armalite Rifle SNRP 131120 with 4 long and 1 short magazine with ammunition. This rifle was found lying horizontally at the front by the driver's seat of Padilla's vehicle.
3.380 Petro Beretta SNA 35723Y with flip and 8 ammunition. This pistol was voluntarily surrendered by Padilla to the police at the traffic division. In addition to these firearms, Padilla also surrendered a black bag containing 2 additional long magazine and 1 short magazine.
The Regional Trial Court, or the RTC of Angeles City, presided over by Judge David Rosete, found Ruben Padilla guilty for illegal possession of firearms and ammunition under Presidential Decree 1866. The ruling was handed down on April 25, 1994. The RTC sentenced Padilla to an indeterminate penalty of 17 years, 4 months, and 1 day of reclusion temporal as minimum, to 20 years of reclusion perpetua as maximum. This ruling was based on the evidence presented during the trial, which include Padilla's possession of multiple firearms, 357 caliber revolver, an M16 Baby Armalite rifle, and a 380 Puerto Beretta, and his inability to produce the necessary permit for them. Then Padilla subsequently appealed the RTC decision to the Court of Appeals, which affirmed the conviction. The Supreme Court ultimately upheld the Court of Appeals decision, finding that the warrantless arrest and subsequent search were justified.
The Supreme Court of the Philippines upheld Ruben Padilla's conviction for illegal possession of firearms. The court found that his warrantless arrest and subsequent search were justified based on several legal principles. First, warrantless arrest. Padilla was caught in the act of committing a crime or hit and run and was subsequently found in possession of an unlicensed firearm, making the warrantless arrest lawful. Second, plain view doctrine. The firearms and magazines were discovered in plain view of the officers, justifying their seizure. Third, a search incidental to a lawful arrest. Even if the firearms were discovered through a more active search, the seizure could still be justified as part of a search incidental to the lawful arrest.
The court also ruled that Padilla's voluntary surrender of Petro Beretta pistol and additional magazines constituted a waiver of his right against illegal search and seizure. The Supreme Court ultimately affirmed the lower court's conviction, finding that Padilla's guilt was proven beyond reasonable doubt. He was sentenced to an indeterminate penalty of 17 years,
4 months and 1 day of reclusion temporal as minimum to 21 years of reclusion perpetua as maximum.
President Rodrigo Duterte granted executive clemency to Robin Padilla on November 15, 2016, restoring his full civic and political rights. This decision was made after a meeting between the two, and Duterte cited several reasons for his decision. Humanitarian concerns. Duterte stated that Padilla had suffered enough and that it was important for him to have his rights restored, such as the right to vote and travel. He also emphasized that Padilla's crime did not harm anyone.
Padilla's desire to be with his family. Padilla's wife, Mariel Rodriguez, had just given birth to their first child in the U.S. Padilla was unable to travel to be with his family due to his lack of full civil rights, which prevented him from obtaining a U.S. visa. Duterte acknowledged this and recognized the importance of family reunification. Previous pardon. Padilla had been granted a conditional pardon by former President Fidel Ramos in 1998, but he did not fully restore his civil and political rights. This limited his ability to travel and possess firearms. Duterte's decision was seen as a way to correct this and provide Padilla with a fresh start. It is important to note that while Duterte downplayed the severity of Padilla's crime, the decision was ultimately based on the combination of humanitarian considerations, family reunification, and the desire to provide a more complete pardon.